What's up, you guys? How you doing today? So really fast, pause the video right here if you guys are new to the channel. Find out how you could be one of 3 winners every single week over here on YouTube, or one of 3 winners every single week over on my Twitch channel. My Twitch channel, however, you guys can actually earn those giveaways. They're not random like they are here on YouTube. Either way, it's all good. We pick 6 winners every single week, are winning platinum over here. But let's get into the video. So the first question that we have comes from, or possibly the only question we have, because this is an important video, is going to be from Andre. He says, I saw someone who had 4 syndicates full rank. How did he do that? So I'm going to walk you guys through what you need to know to be able to get your syndicate ranks up and all that sort of stuff. So as you guys can see, I'm in a relay. Now the only relay that's not going to work is Maru's Bazaar, because it doesn't have these extra rooms that I'm going to show you. But right here, so you guys can kind of get a bearing, there's the Rhino statue, and over here is where Baro Katir would wind up spawning and stuff like that. But if we look at the map, you guys can see I'm in the middle of what looks like a horseshoe that has rooms extended on it. So I could go straight, I could go left, or I could go right. Either way, it doesn't really matter, unless, you know, like, you don't know what whatever. If you know what syndicates you are, then you know where to go. But we're walking into New Loco over here, and over here there's a thing that says turn in seeds. Now, a lot of you guys may not be aware what this is, but when you guys do your syndicate missions, you'll have the ability to pick up these seeds, or marks is what I call them. I don't know what to call all of them in total, because they, like, in general, because they all have a separate name. But every syndicate has marks that you can pick up. And when you guys are picking these marks up, what you want to be prepared for, and this is super important for the next Prime Access that comes out, especially if it winds up being Chroma. I know I was reading comments when Limbo dropped, and a lot of you guys were like, oh, you know, how were you able to get the relics so fast and all that sort of stuff? This is how you prepare. And you guys have a little less than 3 months now for the next Prime Access, but this is how you prepare for when those Prime Accesses drop, so that you can get a load of relics and stuff like that. Potentially the ones that you're looking for with the new parts that drop in Prime Access. Remember, it's very important not to buy these relics before the Prime Access drops. You have to wait until after it, because otherwise the relics will not have been updated into the game, and you're not going to get any of the relics that you need for the new Prime Access. So what I recommend you guys do is, when you're running your syndicate missions, from now until, you know, the next Prime Access, stock up as many of these as you possibly can. Just keep running your syndicate missions, get your marks. We'll go over that a little bit more, you know, in a bit, but run through your missions, get as many marks as you can, and just stock up on them until the new Prime Access drops. When that happens, you guys will be able to start turning these in, and you guys will be able to get syndicate standing out of them. As you guys see, this little white part of the bar here, that's representing these seeds that I'm turning in, or these marks. So if I do redeem all, it's going to give me more syndicate standing over here. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go over it. I'm not sure if the game will let you go over it, but even if you can, don't go over it. That's a super waste. Once you do this and you turn these in, come over here to this chickaroo over here. Go to offerings, and then you're going to want to buy your relic packs right here. So this is basically what you're doing. You're basically just doing a loop. If you guys have stocked up on a load of marks, you're basically just running back and forth, grabbing points, grabbing relic packs, turning in points, grabbing relic packs, turning in points, grabbing relic packs. You guys get the point. So over here, you guys will find another one, which is parent sequence. You can turn in the quintance or whatever, which again, I'm just going to call them all marks. So basically, you guys can just turn in a bunch of these if you guys are a part of parent sequence. And then over here, we have Red Veil, and so on and so forth. So they're usually always going to be to the right of every door that you guys go into. Steel Meridian, Cephalon Suda, Arbiters of Hexus. So they're always going to be to the right of every door when you guys are in the relay. And it's really just, that's what you want to do. You want to turn these marks in. So I'm going to kind of run you guys through, like, what kind of builds you would want to have and all that sort of stuff for when you're doing these missions, so that you kind of have an idea as to how to make it easy. And just to kind of get this out of the way, if you guys don't already know, this is where you're supposed to find your syndicates, right here. So, you know, you click on this little thing up here, and this will show you your syndicates. So we got the new Loka that I'm a part of, and the parent sequence that I'm a part of. Not all of these missions are going to have marks for you guys to find. Like, interceptions won't always have marks. Defenses won't always have marks. But captures, exterminates, mobile defenses, rescue missions, they're usually always going to have marks for you guys to do. Either way, even if it's not going to have a mark, some defense missions have marks. Just keep that in mind. Some defense missions have marks. Possibly some interception missions have marks. So even if it says this, it still is worth doing it, even just for your daily standing. You know, like, you guys still want to be doing your daily standing, turning that stuff in for whatever you might need out of your syndicates, whether it's augment mods or anything like that. In preparation for this, some of you guys are like, well, how do I unlock my syndicates? I don't really know how to do that. You want to go into your regalia over here. Actually, you want to go to the syndicate first, and you want to mess around in that syndicate. You want to open it up and stuff, or like, you know, apply to that syndicate. Once you've gotten yourself applied to it, and you go to your regalia over here, you guys will be able to put sigils on, which I usually hide them in the back. All these sigils. So right now I'm wearing the chairman sigil, which I believe is a parent sequence thing. But let's do new Loka. New Loki. New Loka. Okay. New Loka. So these are all the new Loka, you know, sigils and stuff like that. As you're going through your syndicates, I've always done this, and this is what I recommend. This is what the veterans taught me. The most important thing you guys want to get when you do these is the sigils as you go through them, because as you see, they give a bonus in standing when you do them. Every day, depending on your master rank, you'll have a certain amount of standing that you're able to gain as you're playing the game and doing missions for your syndicates. So the higher your master rank, the more syndicate standing you guys can gain, which is why you'd want to have, you know, the highest one on. Like, if I'm doing New Loka, I'd want to have the Humanity Sigil on, because this is 15% is the highest amount that you can get from the sigils. So as you're going through your syndicates, keep getting these, and keep putting, like, make sure you replace them. Keep putting on the next newest one you got that has, you know, the next highest rank for you to use. So that being said, now we're going to go into, like, builds and stuff like that. So as far as Loki goes, and the build that I have on him, as you guys can see here, it says Syndicates right there. So this is a build that I usually run for Syndicates with Loki. And it's really only 3 mods that are important here, but you don't need every single one of them. It'll still work even if you only have one of these. The reason why I have all 3 of these mods on, and there's actually one more I'm going to show you too. The reason why I have all these mods together is because they stack. So it makes it stupid easy to find, like, things on the map that you're looking for when you're looking for your marks. Again, if you guys haven't figured out, this whole video is basically wrapped around the marks. Like, the marks are the most important thing in preparing you for any Prime access if you guys are looking to make platinum off of that stuff. So the marks are the most important thing that you guys want to go after. But here we have Loot Detector. It does plus 30 loot radar. Coaction Drift increases the aura effectiveness, which is basically this. And then Thief's Wit, which is, you know, 42 loot radar. That's plus 42. The other thing we want to check out is this mod right here, this Animal Instinct. If you guys have all 4 of these mods on like I do, it's overkill. And I know it's overkill, and I like it that way. I want the overkill. I don't want to be running the Syndicate missions for the rest of my life. I want to know if there's a box on the map, where it is, and I don't want to, like, you know, I just want it to be as easy as possible, because if I'm doing this every day, or if it's something that, you know, I'm going to be doing a lot, I don't want it to be a pain in the balls. So this is the important one that you guys want to have. And just for you know, what weapons should you use and stuff, this kind of helps out a lot. I use the Ignis Wraith when I go and do these missions. I'll show you guys the build. You do want to have a shred on this so that it shoots through stuff. But basically, I'll walk into a room, I'll start spraying my Ignis Wraith in kind of like a circle and just kind of break all the boxes in there. And then my Sentinel will wind up, like, picking up all the loot, and whatever's left over, especially if it's a small room, if I see any little, like, things left over on that map, any little boxes, that's probably a mark, or possibly even Iotane Sculpture. You guys will find Iotane Sculptures doing these if you do them a lot. But basically, this is the Ignis Wraith build. This is a great Ignis Wraith build if you guys were looking for one. So do with that as you will. And now we're going to get back into, let's see, I went over the sigil, the builds, and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so coming back over here. Going back to our syndicates. It's really simple like this. So, you know, you could do like a next title, or I've already gone through all of these syndicates. Like, I've already personally went through each and every one of these and done it. So it says next title here, but I feel like it says something else. I feel like it says, like, apply to, you know, this or whatever. It's worded something differently if you guys want to get involved in the syndicates. So this is how you guys have 4. At one point in time, you were able to have 6 syndicates. At another point, but now I believe you can only have 5. It is not worth it. I'm telling you right now, it is really, really hard to balance and manage every one of these, and it is absolutely not worth it to do. When you guys start doing these, as you're going through them, you'll be able to figure it out on your own as you start going through them, but this is what you want to look for to be able to figure it out. So every one of these syndicates has, like, let's say, an enemy, an opposed, and an ally. The ally is the only one that will benefit from you doing parent sequence. These two, you're going to lose points on whenever you do a parent sequence run. If we go over to New Loka, parent sequence is the only one that is going to benefit from you doing New Loka, but Cephalon Suda and Steel Meridian are always going to be losing points. So what you guys want to do for 4, if you want to have 4 syndicates, it's either going to look like these 3 and Red Veil, or it's going to look like these 4 all together, if you guys are doing this correctly. So I believe it's going to look like these 4. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I actually had 4. There was a point in time where I did that. 3 is a little bit better to manage. I mean, personally, I would tell you guys, if you really want to go above and beyond, you could do 4, but it's a pain in the balls. Because again, like I said, we'll go to Red Veil. They're allied with Steel Meridian, so Steel Meridian will gain points, but these other 2 will lose points. It's something that you guys definitely are going to have to figure out on your own, as far as like which ones you want to do and how to do them correctly, like how to do them. But what you're going to find is that if you're doing all 4 of these, what you're ultimately wind up doing is you're most likely, if you're trying to max out all 4 of these, it's not as beneficial as you think, because most likely what's happening is you're doing one of these, and then let's say you're doing one of these, and you know, let's pretend they weren't allies. There were 2 others that were allies with these. You're doing one of these, and then let's say maybe this one's gaining standing and this one's gaining standing. But the problem is, if you did this one or you did this one, then one of these 2 is going to wind up losing standing. So it's like a constant battle and you're fighting with yourself, which is why I don't recommend you doing 4. 3 honestly isn't bad. 3 is not bad at all, and it's totally doable. So if anything, I'd recommend either all these 3 or maybe all these 3. Like whatever you guys want to... you know, you'll figure it out. Now that I'm kind of pointing you guys in the right direction, you guys will be able to figure out exactly how you want to do it. But that's basically all you want to focus on, is the fact that you have enemies that you'll lose points with every time you do these, and then you have 1 ally for every time you do this. The ally will also gain points as well. And again, at one point in time, you used to be able to do 6. Can't do that anymore. They wind up adjusting the standing that you wind up getting as you do these, so you can't do 6 anymore. It's still possible to do 5, but very, very not worth it. And 4 is still a pain in the butt, but not really worth it. But that's all you guys really need to know as far as like having 4 syndicates. Yeah, it's totally doable. But if anything, I would just recommend 3. And all you got to do is just pay attention. Like, okay, which ones am I allowed to run that's not going to mess me up on any of my other syndicates that I still want to be a part of? So really, that's all you guys kind of got to figure out, is picking your syndicates and then deciding which ones you want to do. Remember, when you guys do that, at the, you know, like there's going to be a Prime Access coming out in a little less than 3 months from now. If it winds up being Chroma, you guys are going to make stupid bank off of that. Especially if you've ran all these syndicates, especially if you're doing them every day or as often as you can. You're gaining as many marks as you can, and you're just stocking up on marks. Right now, you want to stock up on marks as far as Chroma goes. Once you guys have stocked up on all those marks or whatever, remember, do not turn them in until after the Prime Access drops. If it winds up being Chroma, you know, or whatever frame it winds up being, you guys can totally do that. But don't turn your marks in before the Prime Access drops. Do it after. If you turn your marks in before the Prime Access drops, you're going to get the relics that don't have any of the new Prime Access stuff. Like, you're not going to get any of the new updated relics, so do it afterwards. Most important thing when you guys are collecting marks and stuff like that. But that's the name of the game with Syndicates. It's all about collecting marks. And if you guys wanted to have more than 2 or anything like that, it's doable, but it's extra work. It's just extra work, extra math, and all that extra stuff you're going to have to figure out. Remember, play around with your sigils, and, you know, what frames you wear them on. Make sure that you're not, you know, conflicting in any syndicates. Make sure that if you have an old syndicate on from an old, you know, syndicate or whatever that you used to be in, that you don't want to be in anymore, that you've taken that sigil off. Because every time you run that frame with that sigil on, you're going to wind up gaining points for that particular syndicate that you're running. But anyway, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I didn't think it was going to be this long of a video, and I thought I'd have time for more questions, but you know what? We'll get into it soon. Well, I got all these other questions. Again, if you guys have any questions or anything like that related to trade chat, because this is supposed to be part of a trade chat series and stuff, leave them in the comments down below. Actually, whatever. Just leave any of your questions in the comments down below. I'll do my best to help you guys out. But hopefully you guys have an amazing day. I absolutely love your faces. And I will see you guys in the next video.